Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Saha viryam karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Paramparam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodha Bhidiyate. Sarva Vedānta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satgurum Pranatosmyaham. So we were seeing, last time we left it off, I think we were seeing the Anandamaya Kosha, Panchakosha Vivekaha we were doing. So what is this Anandamaya Kosha? Anandamaya Kosha was the 5th level of error that the individual commits. You may not think it's an error because that is a kosha we love. It is the kosha of limitless joy. It's the kosha of, not limitless joy, it's the kosha of joy. It's the kosha of happiness. It is unfortunately a changing happiness. It is not a real lasting happiness. That is the problem. It is always shifting, always changing, because 1 minute I'm Ananda, next minute I'm in unhappiness. So it is always this shifting Ananda. So it cannot be me because I am not shifting Ananda. What the Shastra reveals is that I'm the permanent Sukha Swarupa. I am the permanent Ananda Swarupa. So this, he says here, what is this? Now he asks the question, what is this really? What is that I am really? Up this vichara with this verse of the next verse of this Tattvabodha. Let me just see if I can get my book here. So he says here, what does he say? We can chant that. Madīyaṃ śarīraṃ, madīyaṃ śarīraṃ, madīyāḥ prāṇāḥ, madīyaṃ manaśca, madīyā buddhihi, madīyaṃ ajñānamiti, svenaiva jñāyate, tadyathā madīyatvena, jñātaṃ kaṭakakuṇḍala gṛhādikaṃ, svasmādbhinnaṃ, tathā pañcakośādikaṃ, svasmādbhinnam, madīyatvena, jñātamātmā bhavati. So here he's summing up all this, that all these 11 anatmas, we saw this. What is not Atma is anatma. They are not the Atma. The Atma alone, consciousness alone is real. And what are these anatmas? We saw that the 3 śarīraṃs, and from one perspective, the 3 bodies, they are not Atma. The 5 koshas, the panchakoshas that we saw, the Viveka, they are not Atma. They are not the real me. These are only temporary medium through which I interact with the world. So here again, the aham and idam argument comes in. Possessing or using something, I claim it as mine, belongs to me. I am not that. Here he's saying, madīyaṃ te jñātaṃ. You claim all of these as your own. You claim the house as your own house, but are you the house? No, you are not the house. You claim the car as my car. Are you the car? No, you are the owner, not the house. You are not the car. You are the owner of these. All of these koshas, these 5 coverings, you claim them as your own. You claim them as your possession, as mine, mine. We are not the panchakoshas. That is what he's saying here. He says, kaṭakakuṇḍala gṛhādikaṃ, which means that this diamond earrings, kaṭakakuṇḍala gṛhādikaṃ, bangles or earrings, house, all of these are possessions. He is using here, the author, the example of jewelry. Jewelry is your jewelry. It belongs to you. All claimed as yours, but svasmādbhinnaṃ. They are different from you. It is not you. They are claimed as yours. They're not you. So in the same way, the śarīraṃ, the confusion begins at this body level. Madīyaṃ śarīraṃ. He says, you say, I am a male. You say, I am a female. You say, I am old. You say, I am young. I am middle-aged. You don't say also I body. You say my body. I, this male, female, all of this is identification with the body. But this body is my body. It is not I body. It is annamaya kosha. It is a modification of food alone. There's nothing else. Very, very basically, the Shastra points this out, actually. This physical body, all the importance we give to it is just taken away in one shot with the description of this body. It is just a modification of annam, annamaya kosha, modification of food. I am not the body because I possess the body. When I say my body, like I possess my car, like I possess the gold and diamond earrings, I possess the body. Madīyāḥ prāṇāḥ. The prānas are me, but I am not the pranamaya kosha. The digestive problems, all of these, they belong to me, but they're not me. I say the body has digestive problems. The problem is, I say, I identify the I with that, and I become involved with that. And that's where the identification creates problems for me, because when I have digestive problems, or if I have vyana, vyana is another prana, circulation, vyana governs circulation. Then I go to a cardiologist. Dr. Tarun is here. He knows if you have vyana problems, then you go to a cardiologist or cardiac person, and they will fix that with medicines or whatever they have to fix it with. But it is belonging to you. It is not you. So the pranas and activities also belong to you. They are not you. Madīyaṃ manaśca. My mind is disturbed. My mind is restless. We say this. We hear this all the time. Who is that possessor of the mind? When you say my mind, there must be somebody who possesses the mind. You don't say, I mind disturbed. Nobody talks like that, even in English. Nobody talks like that in any language. My mind is disturbed. Thoughts, which means what? We have seen again and again. Thoughts are witnessed by you. You know your cognitions. You know your thoughts. They are again witnessed by you. You're very calm after prayer, because after prayer, the mind, the vrittis, you're able to calm down. The prayer has that effect. It is drishta phalam, immediate result of prayer, chanting, all of this is what? Immediately you feel the mind is calm. You feel the mind is settled. So instrument possessed. This is what the mind is. It is an instrument. And madīyā buddhihi. The intellect is also referred to as my intellect. The ahankara, the egoic self, is known by you. All the variations, of the intellect that you identify with, when you say I'm intelligent, I'm stupid, I'm weak, you're identified, we saw, with the instrument, the vijñānamaya kosha. You are not that intellect. You are not the vijñānamaya kosha. The possessor is different from the possessed. This is the law. The illuminator is different from the illumined. This is the law. I am different because I illumine all of these functions, but I am more than those functions. I am Atma. That is what he is saying. Madīyaṃ ajñānamiti. Even my ignorance I am aware of. When I ask you, do you know Japanese? What will you say? Maybe some of you know Japanese, but generally I will ask you, and If you ask, if I ask, do you know South Korean? Do you know Korean? Most people don't know Korean. So you'll say what? I don't know Korean. How do you know you don't know? That is the question. How do you know you don't know? Because you light up your ignorance. You light up your very ignorance. You know you don't know because you are not ignorance. You say, my ignorance. Ignorance is something that you possess. Ignorance is not you. Ignorance is something you have. It is, you are different from the ignorance. Ignorance is not you. So how, if ignorance is not you, how can ignorance affect you? It cannot. It cannot affect you. How can thoughts affect you if thoughts are not you? They are they're not supposed to affect you. How can the bodily pains affect you if they are not you? Again, we have to see that this is different from Atma, that space develops. Madīyaṃ ajñānamiti means my ignorance, not me, something I have. I possess that ignorance. I am not that ignorance. Svenaiva jñāyate, he says, svenaiva jñāyate means all of these are clearly known as mine, not as I. All the 5 koshas, the 5 sheets, the 3 shariras from a different perspectives, the 3 avastas, we also saw that level of inquiry, the 3 states of experience, they are all mine, but not me, they're anatma. Then the question comes, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That who am I is again, the quintessential question. Whole spiritual inquiry is based on that question, who am I? I am different from all of these 11. Now we enter the Atma topic. Who is that Atma? He says here, Atma tarhi kaha satchitananda swarupaha satkim kalatrayepi tishtatiti sat chitkim jnanaswarupaha anandakyaha sukhaswarupaha evam satchidanandaswarupam swatmanam vijaniyat. This is a crucial understanding of Atma. It's a very crucial understanding of Atma because what is this Atma? Shishya addresses the teacher here. Tarhi, then you're telling me all this, what I'm not. Then what is it, this Atma you're telling me I am? She's asking a positive question now. Tell me what this Atma is. Atma kaha. And he says, Atma satchitananda swarupaha. Very, very famous statement to explain Atma. You may have heard it in many places. I am of the nature of existence. I am of the nature of consciousness. I am of the nature of limitless joy, happiness. Combination of Sat, Chit, Ananda is Atma. Now he begins the inquiry. Sat Kim, what is this Sat? What is the first thing? Sat is existence. What is this existence? What does it mean to exist? What is this existence that he is discussing, not what I think. What is my existence, I think? I think I'm born in time. I think I last for some time. And I think I'm going to go in time. That is what our mortality says. We are this is my existence known to me. But he says here, Kalatrayepi tishtati iti sat. It is always there in all 3 periods of time. You are always there in all 3 periods of time. It transcends time. It is not in time. Time itself depends on this existence. So that is eternal. It is timeless. The nature of Atma, the first explanation of Atma, that it is timeless. The same type of verse comes in Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter. Bhagavan says, Tattvabodha jatu nasam natvam nenme janadipaha nachaiva nabhavishyamaha nachaiva nabhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. The 19th verse of the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the 12th verse, he says, what does he say here? He says that there was never a time that I did not exist, O Arjuna. There was never a time where you did not exist, nor there's these kings and these warriors that you see in front of you. There was never a time they did not exist, nor will they cease to exist in future. Nor will anything cease to exist in future, because the reality, the truth of everything is that I am free from birth, I am free from death, I am free from the sixfold modifications that are applicable to anything on this universe. We have seen these sixfold modifications. What are they? One is asti, it is. Then jñāyate, it is born. Vardate, it grows. Viparinamate, it changes, it modifies. Apakshiyate, it declines. And finally, vinashyati, it is destroyed. Everything in the world is like this. Whole Jagat is subject to sixfold modifications. He says here, you are not subject to the sixfold modifications. And this is the abiding reality of the self of Atma. It is the basis for everything, all the changes. It is the basis for all the changes that you witness. It was there in the past. It is here in the present, and it exists in the future. Invisible, independent consciousness is always there. This past, present, and future are all one, actually. The past was the present at that time. The present is right now, what we have to experience. What is future? It is nothing but the present at that time. Actually, there's no such thing. Future is only imagined. So bhutam, there is a very nice saying in the Upadesha, I think Upadesha Sahasri. Is it Upadesha Sahasri? It's a verse of Ramana Maharishi. Anyway, he says, the past having been and it's gone, and the future is still yet to come. They are both the present being in their own time. You relinquish the truth of the present. Oh man, you don't see the truth of this now, this moment. And what do? You spend your time worrying about you worry about the past, or you worry about the future. This is what life is. Switching from past to future, worrying. All you have now is present. Everything that is existing is only in the now. It is in the present. The future will also be the present when it comes. The past and future, we only think of now, actually. So this Sat is isness. This Sat is existence. All experiences are within time and time consciousness. And what is the reality of time? The reality of time is the Satyam. It is the truth. The reality of time is consciousness. Then he says, Chit Kim, what is Chit? Chit is consciousness, and not just consciousness, you have to understand. All of these are very, very subtle concepts, very difficult to grasp, but this is the nature, this is the crux of Advaita Vedānta, the crux of this non-dual philosophy. Unqualified consciousness means it is not touched by anything. It is like the pure crystal. Pure crystal is uncolored, it is unaffected, untouched by any color. Only when you put the color next to it does it look red. Suppose you put, the red hibiscus flower, if you put next to the crystal, what happens? The crystal appears red. So this, again, that is called qualified crystal. That is called conditioned crystal. Consciousness in the same way is conditioned by body, mind, senses. Because of the proximity of the body and the mind and the senses, the consciousness is taken to be, again, colored by the attributes of body, mind, senses. Here, Chit means unconditioned by thought. It appears, consciousness, in every thought perception. It lights up your thoughts. Your thoughts are actually jadam, they're inert. There is no life to thought. The consciousness lights up the thought. It appears in every thought perception. Thoughts are only forms. Consciousness lends existence to all thoughts. How is that possible? Let's give an example. Water lends existence to the waves. Can the waves exist without water? Waves cannot exist without water. Can the gold ornaments exist without gold? No, the gold ornaments cannot exist without gold. That is why the gold is said to be the basis of gold ornaments. Water is said to be the basis of all waves, and consciousness takes the form of what it illumines. Consciousness is the basis of everything, and it manifests through this physical body. Consciousness is, I become alive, I become moving, I become a sentient being because consciousness manifests through this physical body, and it takes the form of the body by itself being formless. It is not with form. It takes the form of this body by itself being formless. It is that current that illuminates all the bulbs. Because the bulbs light up. Why? Because the current, which is formless, it makes the bulbs light up. It is the light. It can be likened to the light in which all the transactions take place. The light that illumines all the objects, and the light that helps all the transactions to take place is actually unaffected by everything it illumines. It doesn't get affected. So light remains unaffected by everything it illumines. All the colors and shapes and forms and the functions and names, it is unaffected by everything. So the attributes of what is illumined cannot affect the illuminator. The attributes of and qualities of all the objects of the universe cannot affect consciousness. Thoughts cannot and should not affect consciousness. Unfortunately, they do. That is where we make the mistake because of ignorance. We don't know the truth. The mistake is only ignorance alone. So jnana swarupaha, consciousness is this nature of awareness. This nature of awareness, again, it means that it is lighting up everything. It is the basis of the knower. It is the basis of knowledge. And it is the basis of everything that is known in this universe. Very, very difficult to understand. Very, very difficult to comprehend. But this is what our scriptures reveal again and again. The final knowledge that is revealed in the Vedānta Shastra and the Vedas is that there is this one truth that is unseen, imperceptible, which lends existence to everything in this universe. Everything comes to life because of that. We know very clearly, we don't understand that this body is, again, hasn't got any kind of existence on its own. It is only when we see a dead body, we understand there was something there to keep it alive. That is what consciousness bringing it to life. Then the third word he uses to explain is ananda kaha. He says, what is this ananda? You've said sat, you said chit. What is ananda? Ananda is anantaha, it is limitlessness. It is purnaha, it is completeness, wholeness. That is the meaning of ananda, and he explains it as sukha swarupaha. That is what we really want, actually. Let's forget existence and consciousness. We don't know what it is, right? Really, we don't. It's very difficult to understand existence, consciousness. All of this seem like words. What is it we really want in life? Very clearly, it is the third word we all go for in life, ananda. Sat, chit, ananda. Sat and chit are very difficult to understand. I will not go after something I don't even know, but ananda, I know. I love ananda because it is my nature. Ananda is that feeling of fullness. It is that feeling of completeness, which is independent of anything external. It is sukha swarupa, he says in the text, limitless happiness, but I take myself to be unhappy self. I don't like that unhappy self. I don't like that painful self, because I identify with everything that is constantly changing, because I identify with all the changing things, and that I is invested in everything changing. Then I become dukhi, I become an unhappy person, I become sorrowful only because of this fact. But what is the truth? That I am changeless. The truth is, and we have to see that again and again, I am the changeless Ananda. I take myself to be changing, because the mind changes, I change. I say, 1 minute the mind is in a happy state. Then I say, I am happy. 1 minute the mind is in a sad state. I say, I am sad. It is the mind that changes. It is not I. We have to, again, find that space, develop that space. When I develop that space, I see that the changes happen with the mind, which is not me. It's only an instrument. I am that Ananda Swarupa. I am that Sat Swarupa. That Ananda, which is limitlessness. It is Ananta, limitless. Whenever you are happy, have a look at, whenever you feel a moment of happiness, what happens? Whenever you feel a moment of happiness, that is your Ananda, actually. You want that again and again. It is the resolution of subject and object. It is a resolution of seeker and sought. You are no longer a seeker seeking anything external to yourself. That is what we call happiness, actually. All the time, we are seeking something in life. You are not content as you are right now in this moment. So I'm always looking to become something else. I'm always looking to improve my situation. I'm always looking to become something different to what I am in this moment. That is what we call the lack that we feel. That is called fundamental lack. Everybody has it. So it is not uncommon. Whole humanity suffers from this, that feeling of inadequacy, of lack. And when I don't, find my Ananda, what happens? That Ananda I seek externally. I always keep seeking something externally to satisfy me. I'm not happy now. I want to have something else. So this, whenever I am happy, both the subject and the object resolve into one. They fuse into one, and I become, that is called Ananda. That fusion of seeker and sought into one entity is the expression of my Ananda. We love that. That is what is called non-duality, actually. There's no second thing there. There's nothing else. I love myself in that moment. That is called Ananda, joy. There is no dukkha at all. And why do I love it? Because it is my nature. What I am does not disturb me. If you know, this is a very profound statement made by our Shastra. What I am does not disturb me. What I am not disturbs me. I am comfortable with whatever I am, actually, because my nature is happiness. We are always comfortable with what we are, because we don't complain about our nature. That is our nature. What we are not comfortable with is what we are not. I cannot accept that which is alien to me, that which I am not. I don't like to die. I cannot accept it. Because why? It is alien to me. Nobody likes to die, right? I don't like to die. I don't want to die, because my nature is what? Timeless. Because my nature is timeless, I don't like to die. I cannot accept my mortality. If my nature was a mortal being, I would be very happy to die, right? We don't find that. Generally, we don't find. There are always exceptions. I don't accept death because it is not my nature. My nature is timelessness. It is timeless. Similarly, I don't like ignorance. Who likes to be ignorant? I like to know things. Even if I'm crossing the street, suppose I'm walking along the street, suddenly I see a big commotion, I see a crowd in an area. Will I walk past without looking and finding out what's happening? I don't think anybody, it's a big tapas to walk past and not bother. Why? Because I have to know. The mind's nature is I have to know what's happening everywhere. Even if I say I will not know, there'll be something in my mind. I want to know what is happening. Why are people gathered there? Let me also go and see what is happening. Because my nature is not ignorance. I do not like ignorance. I cannot stand being ignorant. Now you may say, no, I can't be bothered. I don't need to know everything. I don't need to study things, everything. Why? Because again, it is indifference. It is not because you don't like ignorance. Suppose you're in a crowd of people and everybody is, sometimes there is, these conversations, when you have these discussions and everything, there's one person who is like a know-it-all in the group. They will quote from this text that everything, there's somebody in the group who's very, very knowledgeable. They will know everything. How does that make others feel in the group? You tell me. Sometimes it may make you feel okay, but most of the time, the thought will come, oh my God, I don't know this much. We have to be very honest. The thought does come. How come I don't know this much? How come they know so much? How come I can't understand it like this? Everybody else seems to understand except me. I'm stupid. I don't like it. Stupidness, I don't like to be stupid. Because why? My nature is knowledge. Actually, my nature is all sarvajñaha. My nature is all knowledge. Atma is the nature of all knowledge. That is why I cannot stand being ignorant. So it is not my nature. I don't like ignorance. My nature is knowledge. And this knowledge is not knowledge of everything. Okay, we have to be careful here. The knowledge is Atma Swarupa is knowledge. That knowledge means it lights up ignorance as well as knowledge. That is, as I said, you know what you don't know. You know your ignorance, and you also know what you know. You know biology. Suppose you are a biology teacher. I know biology because you light up that biology knowledge in your mind. But you don't know, as I said, you don't know Mandarin. So you light up. How do you know you don't know Mandarin? You can tell somebody, I don't know Mandarin. How do you know you don't know? Because you light up your ignorance as well. So the ignorance is lit up by you. Knowledge is lit up by you. And that is what is called this all knowledge, the nature of Atma. It lights up both. And the third thing which is against my nature, I don't like to be sorrowful. Why don't I like to be sorrowful? Because my nature is happiness. I reject sorrow. If sorrow was my nature, what would I like? I would love to be unhappy. Oh, I'm so unhappy today. I love it. You would love to be unhappy because your nature is unhappiness. Why do we not say, I love to be sorrowful? Because our nature is not sorrow. My nature is happiness. That is why Atma is Sat Chit Ananda. Your very nature is all these things. My nature is timeless. So that is why I don't like to die. My nature is all knowledge. That is why I can't stand being ignorant. My nature is happiness. That is why I don't like to be sorrowful. What I really love is my nature. Sat Chit Ananda. Evam Satchitananda Swarupam Swatmanam Vijaniyat. May you know yourself as the nature of this Satchitananda. Know that Satchitananda Swarupa to be yourself, Atma. So you're coming back to yourself. Actually, the Vedanta study is to bring you back to yourself. And in the Sukha Swarupa, whenever you're happy, notice when you're happy. Where are your problems when you're happy? In that moment of happiness, you forget all your problems, right? In a moment of laughter, somebody tells a joke. You may be suffering from the worst of problems, but what? In that moment of happiness, you forget all your problems. In fact, they did some research with cancer patients, I think there was the documentary I saw, cancer patients curing themselves with laughter therapy. They used to watch comedy shows, laughing, something that used to make them laugh. So forget their illness. And actually, some people actually got cured of their cancer disease through actually forgetting that they even had cancer, because laughter makes you forget, right? So if you can divert your mind from the actual illness, people found actually it has an ability to cure as well. So no problems. When you're in Sukha Swarupa, where are the problems? There is no problem at all. Mind does not feel a sense of lack. Lack is sorrow. Happiness is limitless. So this is what he's saying here. This happiness is it is independent of anything outside you. Minus a thing, I am complete. Plus a thing, I am complete. Because minus something cannot add to completeness. Addition to you cannot add to completeness. You don't need to manipulate your the world to feel complete. You don't need to manipulate your own mind to feel complete. That is the nature of consciousness, happiness. He says here, discover yourself to be that Satchitananda Swarupaha. One Swamiji used to beautifully give a contemplation. I remember this contemplation to just meditate upon consciousness. Consciousness is not a property of the body, which means it is not like weight. It is not like height. It is not any property of the physical body. Consciousness is also not part of the body, which means it's not like nails. It is not hair. It is not part of the body. It is not a product of the body. You cannot generate consciousness. In fact, consciousness generates everything else. Consciousness is invisible. It is formless. It is an independent entity that pervades this body, mind, senses, brings everybody to life like electricity passing through the bulb. And consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of the body. That as well is very difficult to understand, because right now I feel limited to the boundaries of this body. But the Shastra says you are not limited to the boundaries of this body. You extend beyond this body. You are boundless. You are limitless. You are dimensionless, all pervasive actually. And consciousness continues to survive after the death of the physical body. This is, again, a meditation. One has to meditate. Ramana Maharishi, he discovered the truth. How did he discover? He just pretended to be dead. He imagined the body. He did this like a death meditation. This moment, he felt this body just dead. What would it feel like to just be dead body? Then you realize you're not this dead body. If you can do this death meditation, I know it sounds quite morbid, but it can really help you see you cannot be this physical body. It is something, consciousness, that illumines the physical body. It survives the death of the physical body. And consciousness is recognized through a medium of manifestation. You remove the bulb and the electricity remains, but the medium is absent. Consciousness becomes unrecognizable. And how do we claim this consciousness as I? Again, you have to negate, do the process of negation. We have done this. I am not this. I am not this. Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm the nature of Shiva. There's a very beautiful shloka by Adi Shankaracharya, Nirvana Shatkam. We can learn that. Na buddhir ahankara na chittani naham. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the memories. I am not the I, ego. Shivoham, Shivoham. Now we know the Sanskrit sandhi, Shivaha aham. Shivoham, Shivoham becomes Shivaha aham. I am the nature of all auspiciousness. I am the nature of that limitless self, that Shiva. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.